With last week's chapter ending on the cliffhanger of Tristan literally going into his demon state and seemingly being unable to control himself, ripping off the molascular head from Meligaland, this week is honestly, if last week was like a 9 or 8 out of 10 at bare minimum, this chapter was a definite 11 out of 10. This was honestly one of my favorite, probably one of the best chapters of Four Knights of the Apocalypse this year, and that's counting the reveals of the rest of the four knights, Lancelot's reveal, the reveal of Tristan, Gawain's reveal, all that stuff, and Gallen and Molascula's reveal, all this stuff. This chapter blows it out of the water, in my opinion, because as the best chapter of the year for Four Knights of the Apocalypse, and single-handedly brought a lot of speculation into the forefront in a single chapter. So, without further ado, let's hit the intro and get right into this amazing chapter. Chapter 76 of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, titled Descent. Which, I gotta say, I am liking the cover image of Tristan in his demon state. He is looking really cold-blooded right now with a very distant look, like he just doesn't care for anything in his path. That is honestly freaking amazing. So, we start off from last week, after Tristan ripped off Molascula's head from, well, Meligaland. Meligaland, in retaliation, tries to swing their weapon towards Tristan, but Tristan, without even looking, charges up a dark energy ball and manages to launch it and go right through Meligaland's chest, knocking them backwards, basically tosses Molascula's head into the air and says, "Silence, you decoration," as he then kicks Molascula's head, shattering it into little pieces with blood raining everywhere. Yeah, Tristan literally just mercilessly ripped off the head, did in all honesty, got like a key blast right through the chest of Meligaland, and then casually tossed up Molascula's head and kicked it, shattering it into pieces like it was a party balloon. Yeah, that is probably one of the most brutal panels in this chapter, and my god, we do get brutal pretty later down the road. Percival is very impressed with just how incredible Tristan is, and well, Dreyfus and Henriksen are like, well, this is His Majesty's son after all. The power of the Demon Clan does in fact need to be feared. And honestly, and now we go back to Gawain, who manages to wake up from her little knockout, saying, damn that Tristan, what did he mean? The time he can use that is limited. Because if we remember last time when Tristan used his demon powers, he did it against Molascula when she turned into her demon form. He stated he can only use it for a short period of time when he was explaining himself to Gawain and Percival and everyone else. But obviously we know why he says it's limited, as he can control himself very quickly in the state, based on what we saw, and he can't control himself for an extended period of time, otherwise he could just lose all control. Meligaland gets back up, and the snake head manages to try and cast a dark spell, bringing out like stains of blood throughout the ground, as hands, zombified hands coming in from basically like the void, coming in and grabbing everyone around them, as mini Percivals basically state they're hands of the dead. They're gonna drag everyone to the other world. So not only are Percival's mini golems intelligent to the point of speaking, they can also assess what the magic is trying to do. Percival probably has the most mysterious power out of all of them outside of Chaos, which we know about, but we don't know their limits. So yeah, this attack is called Hades' Supper, as every knight on the battlefield is getting surrounded and beginning to be dragged down by the hands that Meligaland spurts up from the ground, as we then see them slowly grabbing a hold and wrapping around Tristan, with Isolde crying out for him as he's basically completely engulfed in them. But Tristan, casually, without even moving, pushes all of them away, and just like that, his mere presence, he literally just straight up did Conqueror's Hockey. If I'm going to give a One Piece reference, Tristan just used Conqueror's Hockey. The sheer pressure of Tristan's very own aura and just instinct to just straight up murder everything else in his path right now scared the literal hands of the dead back into their graves. Tristan is an absolute beast, and this chapter just does not disappoint, showing him going all out. Tristan then jumps forward, lands on the top of Meligaland, and proceeds to slowly, with a good chunk of strength, pull the snake body head out of Meligaland as it just screams out, "It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. I beg of you, please stop." As Tristan pauses for a second, is like, "Alright." As he then casually yanks out the snake body in one go, much to everyone's shock. This is brutal, man. This is just straight up brutal. As Meligaland is asking, "Why? You said you'd stop." But Tristan just says, "I told you. I can't control myself when this happens." Kind of, trying to keep a grasp over his sanity, but his demon blood is kind of taking over, and yeah, I can see why Tristan doesn't like using his powers, and I did speculate this in my Tristan Potential video of how he doesn't go into this because he can't control his powers, so I was right. I'm so happy that Tristan has one big obstacle to overcome. But just as that happens, we cut back to Leonis Castle, as we get dialogue saying, "I can't believe it. That boy was more afraid to use that power than anything else," which is Meliodas speaking. And the woman in the background next to Meliodas, who, thanks to that earring with a close-up from the behind, is Elizabeth. Now, why we have not seen her face at all, I have no idea. We've seen the silhouette of Elizabeth more or less like 2 times so far. This is the 3rd, I believe. But anyway, she says, "It's not that strange. Tristan has friends he can put his absolute trust in." And she asks Meliodas where he's going. Meliodas puts on his coat, and this is the exact same coat that is depicted of Meliodas in the Four Knights of the Apocalypse anime promotion poster, which honestly, I'm so happy that we're actually going to see it. Meliodas just says, "I can't just sit around here. Not as a king or as a dad." So Meliodas is getting ready to enter the fray. Something that I've been waiting to see for so long. I guess Lancelot probably reported on the prisoner, and Meliodas figured, okay, all the threats seem to be more or less gone, save for Meligaland, which Tristan right now is, handling. But Meliodas definitely senses something is up and believes that right now he can leave Barker's side in Elizabeth's hands. We then cut back to the fight as Meligaland's body, seemingly kind of blind or is kind of has like one eye left, is just going rampant, swinging sporadically, trying to get Tristan as he continues to dodge over and over and over again. As he then passes right past Meligaland with both of his blades out. We then see that in that instance, he slashed up Meligaland multiple times, cutting off whatever hands are on its body, and just a ton of cuts and gashes all over that seemingly unbreakable body. And I like how one of the knights in the peanut gallery states, he did that on his own to an enemy none of us combined could compete against. Which, I kind of figured, yeah, these guys aren't going to do anything, but just seeing how strong Tristan is, using his demon powers, meaning he has a strong affinity in terms of power to his demon abilities, but in turn loses his sense of self-control. So that's honestly really cool, and it shows just how powerful Tristan is, meaning that he's most likely at the level of Meliodas in annihilation mode in the 7th, at least in his main series, by the time the 2nd Holy War happens. I'm highballing it here, but from how things are going, if fusion, similar to like the original demon is, if it's like multiplying similar to like Dragon Ball, Tristan is a lot stronger than Meliodas was during the 10 Commandments arc. Presumably, by the time he goes back to try and when he tries to become the Demon Lord, I'm putting Tristan close to that level, which is insane to think about. Percival runs over to Tristan, trying to tell him he can change back now, but Tristan tells Percival to stand back. He can't change back very easily. It's the price for using his power. We then hear clapping, as someone states, "Well done." With everyone wondering, who the heck is that? This voice is ringing in my head. As the voice continues, "I got to see a good show firsthand before making my assessment. Truly marvelous, to tell you the truth. I underestimated you until I saw you with my own eyes." As the rubble from the town and the area begin to coalesce and combine, as the voice continues to say, "Such a bad girl, Gawain. Running away without permission? How worried did you think my big stepbrother would be?" As Gawain states, "This is my uncle." So, this does confirm, A, Gawain is Arthur's niece, and also, the fact that he does have a stepbrother, which means Mordred is canon. So Mordred is most likely going to be showing up in this series at some point, and I just cannot wait. Anyway, the rubble begins to take shape into a staircase going into the sky. As the citizens are wondering if they're dreaming and are seeing just how divine this looks, a staircase of rubble stretching into the sky. As the clouds part, we see a full page showing just how far up this staircase goes into the air.
He has to assert dominance, Cell. Trust me, it's the right move.
As we keep going, the voice continues to say, I thought I'd say hello to you in person at least once, to the four youngsters in the Omen former King Bartra saw. As Hendrickson and Dreyfus notice who this truly is, same as Gawain. The voice continues, as for the power of those four Knights of the Apocalypse, I also came to find out if it was truly enough to destroy me and my eternal kingdom. Percival just realized who it is and wondering, this can't be. Gawain's like, please forgive me. So she doesn't want to get punished by her uncle. And Tristan, still looking as serious as ever, just states, the mastermind has entered. Their enemy, the ruler of Camelot, Arthur Pendragon, as Arthur takes up basically 2/3 of the page in this awesome panel, as he finally makes his appearance on Leonis. Nearly 20 chapters since he said he was going to come to Leonis, and now he is here. 20 chapters in, he is finally in Leonis, which means the climax of this arc is here. We are going to get the final clash for this arc. The finale of the Leonis arc is here, and I am all for it. And I just want to pay attention to Arthur's right hand. As we remembered, when Arthur was revealed fully on his way here, his right arm was still missing from the end of the Seven Deadly Sins series. But in this one, it is clearly there. This was most likely created by Chaos as like a type of armband. And if you look closely to his right hand, you can see a symbol on it. That symbol looks a lot like Cath Palug, which means that after absorbing Cath back at the end of the Seven Deadly Sins, Arthur most likely found a way to materialize Cath as his missing arm. So this could just be Arthur not just fully taming Cath's whole personality over the last 16 years, but maybe this arm has a mind of its own. I'm just going full on fan theory here, but this is just insane. Arthur is here, he's got 2 arms again, which means he's even stronger, presumably. But yeah, this is just an awesome reveal, an awesome entrance. Probably one of the best entrances an anime villain or antagonist has been in recent time. And there have been a lot of awesome entrances for antagonists and villains in anime and manga. Arthur, I just gotta clap, man. This is an awesome entrance. But then we cut over to Percival as he's like, that's the guy. He's the king of Camelot. That guy is Ironside's king. That guy is why my grandfather, with a flashback of the death of Percival's grandfather. Percival then, in anger, jumps straight forward, heading towards Arthur with his mini Percival army, screaming out, "Give me back my grandpa." Arthur is honestly excited, giving a big smile, saying, "Hey, you're Ironside's kid, aren't you?" And Percival keeps going straight up to Arthur, but then Arthur just casually pushes Percival back, seemingly without even hitting him physically, maybe just with magical power, as he just states, "Could you just save that for later?" Just swatting him away like a fly. A hope-filled Percival, like it was nothing. At least, when Percival was fighting Meligalon with the power he had right now, he was able to hold his own and deal damage. This just shows how completely on another world, not another level, another world Arthur's power is. As the many Percivals are going up, stating, "Don't go after him, it's useless," as they can sense the difference in power. Again, this could be a really good thing for Percival in battle if these mini Percivals have their own sense of intelligence and can sense danger and stuff like that. As one of them just says, "Change of plans." But Arthur continues to talk, stating, "The first one I want to test is you, Prince Tristan. son of our nemesis Leonis's king and his queen. As we then get one panel of just a swoosh up into the air, as we hear Tristan saying, "I will give you your requiem here, King of Chaos," as the final panel is setting up Tristan versus Arthur. Chapter end with the next chapter being called A King's Authority. So, that was awesome, am I right? This chapter was incredible. We saw Tristan going full on beast mode, ripping apart Melascula's head, shattering it to pieces, puncturing through with one blow right through Meligalen's chest, and casually ripping apart multiple parts of Meligalen's body and basically seemingly just killing him right then and there, all on his own, using just his demon powers. He has no control when he's in that state, and it's hard for him to get back into control, which is probably why Lancelot is going to have to help him snap out of it. Perhaps with some sort of magic, ruining his heart, or maybe Lancelot really is on Tristan's level to knock him out of it. But that's not what's going to happen. As we saw, Meliodas is heading his way towards the battlefield. Now, he most likely sensed not only Tristan going all out with his demon powers, but he probably sensed Arthur showing up. Which means we're going to get Meliodas entering the battlefield to fight off Arthur soon, which will probably be within the next 2 chapters. The next chapter is going to be Tristan versus Arthur, and I can't wait to see Arthur fight and to see how strong he is, because Tristan casually took out an enemy that took not just the other knights, but basically all of the Leonis knights, and like 2 to 3 of the 4 knights of the Apocalypse, to even hold their own for a good chunk of the fight. And Tristan casually killed it just by using his full demon power. Arthur swatted away Percival like it was nothing, and now Tristan's on his way to fight him. How this fight is going to play out? I honestly think Tristan's going to lose pretty badly, but I think Arthur is going to play it up, kind of like going at Tristan's level, trying to gauge his strength, see how strong he is, as the son of Meliodas and Elizabeth. And then, Arthur is going to deal a massive blow to Tristan, and before he can potentially kill him, Meliodas shows up and saves his son, and gets ready to fight off Arthur. We'll get a brief fight between the two of them, until Arthur just decides, I did what I came here to do, I saw how strong these knights are, I'm not interested in fighting you just yet, Meliodas, as he just up and leaves. So, I think that's what's going to happen, as the next one is called A King's Authority. So it's going to focus primarily on Arthur versus Tristan, from my speculation, and it'll end with Meliodas showing up. Meliodas needs to show just how strong he is, and I want to see just how strong he is against Arthur. But yeah, an amazing chapter, and something that I am just so happy that I managed to cover. Arthur's here, Meliodas is getting ready to fight, and Tristan used his just unfathomable power right now to take on Meligalen and is going over to fight Arthur. What did you guys think of this chapter? What do you think is going to happen next? How do you think the fight is going to play out? Leave your thoughts, opinions, and theories in the comments down below. I love interacting with you guys for these 4 Nights videos, or any video in general, because sometimes you guys will catch things that I end up missing, or come up with really cool ideas that don't come to mind as I'm recording these videos. And with that said, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help and shows the YouTube algorithm if you guys enjoy my 4 Nights content. I'm going to be continuing bringing you guys the series as we go forward, because this arc is shaping up to have one massive finale with Arthur's return. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.